Alrighty, so uh, this is sick day 3, at least according to the logs. I'm a little bit off on that just because I was actually a day ahead until I got sick, and then I had to skip a day just to get things in there. But I still got the post up, so I'm gonna be getting a couple more, getting a couple extra recordings today, actually. But uh, I wanted to take today to revisit the paperwork because assuming my recovery is going as planned, tomorrow I should be in a good enough way that I can start doing things again. So yeah, I will be submitting the application tomorrow. But a friend of mine asked me about information with regards to some of the requirements to get started because, similar situation to myself, kind of got screwed by a bunch of things and wants a way out. And I'm like, well, let's see if we've got one, huh? All right, so I'm just gonna turn this all around here. Okie dokie. So, like I said before, we got three different programs that you can apply for, and this time you can actually read them. Yay! So the Inside Wireman Apprenticeship, the Limited Energy Technician, and the Residential Trainee. So, the one that I'm thinking about applying to is the Inside Wireman Apprenticeship, maybe Limited Energy, but it'll be determined by what happens on my aptitude test, I think. At any rate, so the minimum qualifications to do this thing, and I'm just gonna turn this. There we go. So you gotta be 18 years of age, and you gotta have a high school GED, or you graduate high school or the equivalent thing. And then so here's the big bit. So as an inside wireman, you'll need to have algebra. You'll need to know algebra, and the reason for that is because that is working with voltages that are high enough that, yes, you could very well kill yourself. So you need to understand what's going on up there. Because that's industrial level. That's the stuff that the businesses use. You'd be, and I mean, you would not be without work because the businesses are everywhere and they're building, always building. But the other one here is for the residential and limited energy. However, it's just basic math. And I mean, a part of it is the lower voltages. It's also just the type of stuff that you're working with. And of course, you must have a driver's license. Okay. So, and as far as applying, I'm going to be sending my application here. Yes. And so, going on from that, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like the minimum requirements are pretty nice. I think a lot of people can, certainly for the limited technician and the residential, a lot of people can get in there. So the other question is then, okay, well, let's say algebra wasn't your thing. I happen to grasp onto it pretty easily. Calculus is what kicked my ass. But let's say that algebra wasn't your thing, so you'd be going for the limited ones, the limited electrician or the thing, and I'm having trouble turning pages. That's why it's taking me so long here. Okay, so like for a limited energy technician program, so starting out, as with all of the programs, you would be employed while you're doing this stuff. So, what exactly is the rate that you'd be starting at? Because the whole point is that you're able to support yourself while you're doing this, and as you're building the stone upon which you will build your future, well, ish, you are still, living an okay life, at least eating 3 meals a day. So, for the limited energy technician program, I'm just going to skip all of these other dots because if you are applying for this, you will find this paperwork and you will be able to go over it. And I would express the need for you to do that, due diligence and all that. So, on your first period, your starting wage is $17.30. And to put that into perspective, during the Christmas season, I was working overtime hours for FedEx at increased wage. And that put me at $15 an hour. And that was increased wage, mind you. Normally it's something closer to 14 for less hours overall, part-time work and all that jazz. Although if you ask, they can give you more hours, but there's other stuff to go in there. Just as a note, I love FedEx. They're great. They're awesome. If you're going to do transitional work, great place to go. Great place to go. But I digress. So this is a full $2 over that, and the understanding is that this is essentially full-time. Work, actually, I'm not sure exactly how many hours you will be getting per day, and that's something I will have to ask. But I know that it has to be enough to actually reach the 4,000 hours minimum to become a journeyman. And so you have to be getting those hours. And so I'd say this is a pretty good gig, honestly. And so this is the limited energy one. This is a 3-year program. And then we have the residential wireman. So this is the 2-year program, if I remember correctly. It's got 3 periods. You'll notice there's less information in general on it. Less requirements. And that's because, this is, so whereas with the one whose name I am forgetting, with the 5-year one, like I said, you're working with industrial level stuff. For this, for the one before, you're working with commercial level things, which is higher voltages and can mess you up, but it won't. But it's not going to just be expressly, you made a mistake. Oh, I'm sorry, you're gone. With residential stuff, it's just kind of you make a mistake, and you're like, oh, ow, oh. For the most part, if you're following the rules, and there are rules to doing electrician work properly, things to keep you, things about keeping yourself grounded and not making a circle with your arms when connecting to a thing. First off, not connecting with both of your hands. You work one-handed, and to make sure that that any electricity that goes through doesn't go through your heart. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff with regards to that, and admittedly, I'm not super trained, so don't take my stuff as as word of God here. But yeah, like I said, even here, we still have a decent starting rate, and you're learning how to do stuff while you're doing this. So, honestly, I think that overall, it's a pretty good gig. So yeah, today this is a part of what I was going to be doing today, which was just I wanted to read over the stuff and get an understanding of the requirements again, just so that I could more effectively inform other people. The other thing I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be reading through the agility testing specifics, so I can also help others get prepared, so that if they do want to take some of the higher tests or want to do some specific things, they've got the training regimen they need to go through. All right. Well, that's it for this post. I will make another one tomorrow.